Everybody point the new folks to this video right here, because if you've been back on NinjaTrader 7, I did kind of do an updated video on what's going on with NT8. They have done a lot of things, including renamed what we used to call market replay, that is synonymous with playback. So if you have been wondering like, well, what's he talking about market replay? That is probably because, let me go all the way back. No, the new name for this is playback inside of NinjaTrader, which even becomes more confusing, which I'm going to eliminate some of that confusion here tonight when we are talking about the market replay versus historical feature, which is what you're going to need to understand. So the main name for this now is called playback. So if you're looking at NinjaTrader playback feature, if we are saying market replay, use them synonymously. Forgive everyone who says market replay still, because that's what it used to be called, and we're gonna try to deal with it anyhow. On the left hand side, you see how it says market replay versus historical. Parts of the problems why this is slightly difficult, because there are names that are being reused. Playback is the entire feature for doing market replay, meaning those of you guys who are new with this, we can basically play the markets at any time, nighttime, daytime. This is how our members are going to be practicing. But I'm going to give you guys tips on how you should be practicing, what days you should be downloading, how to download a lot of days at the same time, and all of that. You did not have what was called the historical feature in the past on old Ninja. I'm going to show that option. That is an option, but I'm also going to show you some other effective ways to get market replay data, and how I'm going to encourage you to practice with our system in your, depending on what part of the 120-day program that you're in, right? We got our 120 days, you got your 40, 40, 40. There is the very first set of 40, this is just training videos, but the middle 40 days, you need to be executing, and this should be a lot in market replay, so it's important for this section right here. So the main one, the first one I want to talk about is historical, because this is going to be the fastest way to get market replay. Amazing feature that they've added in NinjaTrader. Is this historical. So the way that this works, I'm actually going to go into deep dive here tonight. Please don't lose me here. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go and show you the internals of things inside of NinjaTrader. Let's go into the database folder. I think this is going to help you guys understand how things are kind of broken down inside of NinjaTrader. Okay, so inside of your NinjaTrader database folder, DB, well, it's DB, okay, DB internal, this is where your data goes. If you guys have been wondering why I've told you before why you have got to turn off OneDrive or any of those updating or automatic backupping systems, it's because you're about to see what goes inside of here. Okay, you see all these folders inside of here. There is a massive amount of data that goes inside of these. Let's go into like an NQ12. You see all of these NCD files. This is the data that's streaming into your computer in real time. I'm still scrolling, and mind you, this is just for probably 500 bars back over my time. I'm not even getting a lot of bars, and this is how many files get generated on your system. It is a lot, okay? Now, the way that this works is it's pretty neat how NinjaTrader works internally, but the reason that you want to know how this matters, you notice there's a replay folder right here. Look, my replay folder is currently empty. Now, on the left-hand side, remember, playback is not the same as market replay, although it is. It is, but it isn't. Nah, but are you guys following this? You guys understand? Like, if you're totally lost on like why that's weird, I mean, I get why it's weird here. Hope you guys aren't confused by this, because I know it is confusing, quite frankly. So you got playback, but then there's market replay data. Okay, so when Curtis is like, well, do you have market replay data? Look, we're gonna have to fully explain these things, but I'm gonna take my time in this video. Everything is gonna be laid out in this video, even though it's gonna be lengthy, and you're gonna have to listen to me, unfortunately. Market replay data is not the same as historical data, but can be used for market replay purposes, which is actually called playback purposes. Oh man, are you lost now? There are two different types of data. Market replay data is something that you have to go and download yourself. That's the main thing you need to know. Wow. Doing a terrible job in my presentation here tonight. You can tell I'm rusty. I took a whole week off after I beat Ross Cameron in the small account challenge and all of that. And then, yeah, now I'm totally rusty. So market replay, you're going to have to go and download it yourself. which comes back to what my buddy Tommy over here said, is that you can use a third-party service to go download a whole lot of this at once, okay? Because what you will find with the replay, remember, there's the left side of this, and then there's the right side. What did I just do? I can now zoom into this. Okay, I don't know. I accidentally clicked somewhere else, and now all of a sudden it's letting me zoom in. Oh my word. Market replay on the left, historical on the right. Just remember this division, okay? Market replay, got to download. On the right, you do not. And I'm going to show you the majority of the time you should be playing right here, okay? You can get a ton of data through historical, and I'm going to show you how to do it. This is going to be the video. All right, I know I've been, dragging this out here, but it's important because this gets so confusing in our room. People ask us all the time, like, well, I don't understand. I have to go download market replay. And somebody's like, yeah, download all the replay data. But then they're like, but I can only have to do one day at a time, one instrument at a time. Yes. Just know it is a pain to get market replay data if you use it the default NinjaTrader style. There are third parties out there that you can download a lot at the same time. But people say, well, is market replay better or is historical better? There is no difference. That's the next thing I want to answer. It does not matter if it's historical or if it's market replay. Historical, in my opinion, should have been an option. I don't know why all of a sudden I can now. This is amazing. I can. Why is it letting me zoom in now? I couldn't zoom in earlier. Oh man, it's gonna be one of those days. It's amazing. So in the past, you didn't even have historical as an option. Now I'm gonna show you what historical is. You're like, okay, well, we know what market replay data is now. What is historical and why is it better? Well, now we go back to our DB folder, and remember all of those files? When I'm going into tick here, did I create all these and download all these? No, I did not. Because this is the data that comes from my live data provider, okay? Most of us are either Continuum, CQG, Kinetic, whatever your live connection is, all that data is streaming to your computer, right? Do you guys understand how that works? I'm gonna lay this out, okay? Here is your service provider, and here is your, hopefully not a laptop, but for ease of drawing, I'm going to draw a laptop right here, all right? And they're streaming to you live every day, right? Real-time data. You pay for that, right? You pay, for our system, if you're using with us, it's about $12 a month. Very, very cheap, right? You need level 1. Don't get that level 2 stuff. Everybody always asks, well, Vinny, should I download level 1 or level 2? I'm going to answer that question right now. Folks, you do not ever need to download level 2. You only need level 1. Everybody got that? Everybody gets that? Type me a 1. If you don't get it, type me a 2. But you only need level 1, which is also called top of book. Another one of those word and terminologies that you need to know. Or maybe not, okay? It's really not that important. Top of book, okay? My drawing board is getting really messy now, I get it. Top of book, same thing as level 1. You only need level 1 data if you are downloading separately, okay? Level 1. So this is getting streamed to your computer 24, I don't want to say 24/7, but if your computer is connected, they are sending this to you. Got that? So how do I get a whole lot of historical data? This is also synonymous with historical data. So now you see where we're going with this. It is historical. It is the same thing. On the left side, right side, I wish I could fix my zoom here tonight. It's not gonna let me. Historical. The historical is the same thing as your live connection feeding to you. Now, of course, that means that you actually have a live connection, because some of you guys are like, well, I don't have a live connection, so should I go get market replay data? Well, yes, but the market replay data also comes from a live connection, which I know gets even more confusing. But there is also free data. So how do you get the free data thing thrown in there, Vin? Well, you guys have seen on the left-hand side inside of our Discord, you can go and get a 2-week free data feed. This is the whole live stream, right? Live stream of data coming to you, all the price points, all the quantities coming to your machine. That is also, you can get that for free. And yes, you can also use that as historical, which is always confusing. And yes, you can also download market replay data. Oh my word, I know this gets crazy, but I want to fully lay this all out in this video where at least I've explained it one time, okay? As that data comes into your computer, it is now called historical. Oh, okay, but we get that, right? In real time, it's real-time data, but now that it's no longer real-time, it became historical. Makes sense because it's in the history now. So how do you get all these files? Well, historical data is, as long as your computer's been turned on, you're like, oh, well, so I only have, well, I was only on yesterday, so I only have yesterday. No, because it gets even more complex than that, is I'm going to show you how you get a whole bunch of historical data really fast, which is also the same as market replay data. Yes, it gets confusing, but come on up here with me to my high time frame. I'm going to show you guys how I recommend just going in and grabbing your own market replay data, a whole lot in a very short period of time. Okay, if you're using our system, go to your tide chart. Okay, and I say the tide because if you go down to the smaller time frames, you will get a crap load of bars. So you want to use the least amount of bars. And I'm going to go up here and let's say that on the NASDAQ, I want to get 40 days of data. Now let's talk about why 40 days. So first I want to make some recommendations for you on how you should do market replay. How to do market replay effectively. I think that you should get sets of 40. Okay, everything is all about 40s around here. And I would like you to just grab 40 days of data. Now I'm going to show you guys how, like, what sets of 40 days. So it's like, what 40 days should I get? The first thing you want to do is recent. Okay, I would like you to go and grab the most recent 40 days. Easiest way to do this, and I'm going to show you how to grab that like this, very, very quickly without having to do anything tricky. Okay, grab the most recent 40 days. That is very, very simple because you can do this for multiple instruments very, very quickly, and that's a lot of data. Now, you can do more than this. I'm not saying that you should only do 40 days, but I recommend, number one, at least get 40 recent days. Then I would like you to go back for the last 3 years, okay, and get January data. Okay, start in January, which 40 days is going to be basically January through February-ish. Okay, that's the very beginning of the year. All right, and for that same time period, January, I'd like you to get August. Actually, let's make it July, because it will get some of August. All right, July and October. Okay, you're going to see why, but I want you to get 40 days of each of this set. Okay, 40 days here, 40 days here, 40 days here for yourself. Now this is just for you to be able to trade multi-year. We'll talk about all, I'm probably going to focus on all that in part 2, although we've done this in the section where we talk about granularity and seasonality, but 3 years back, right? So this year it's 2021, so you'd want to go get 2020, 2019, 2018, grab January, July, October, 40 days each. Now this is where you may want to use a third-party service, okay? And we'll talk about that third-party service. I only know of one. If you guys know of another one, you guys can put the suggestion down below. All right, this is where you're going to get that third-party downloader to download that, because what I'm going to show you guys how to do is not going to be that easy, or you're going to have to do these individually, and I don't recommend doing that. You're literally going to have to click, if you're doing, you know, it's literally one per day. So if you're doing 40 of them, times 3, you're at 120. If you're doing times instruments, and if you're doing 4 instruments, now you're talking about 480 times you're gonna have to click, right? Do you really want to click 480 times? That's why you pay the third-party service. It is approximately $50 per year. Don't quote me on that. Somebody can type in, somebody tell me? I think that's what it is. That's the last time I looked with them. It's marketreplayData.com, and they are not associated with NinjaTrader, although they are not affiliate. They're part of the ecosystem. So, you know, there you go. $50, and they've got that service in order to do this fill in. Okay. Recent 40 days, grab that one. We talked about that. Okay, so which instruments? So if you're gonna have to choose instruments, obviously NQ, that one is gonna give you a lot of practice. But if you are feeling like that might be a little bit too fast, RTY. These are at least the 2 absolute must-haves, all right? But I also want you to go ahead and get the other E-minis, especially if you're doing the quick install, where you want to get 4 of these, and so you're gonna have all the E-minis. You're gonna have NASDAQ, RTY, YM, and ES. Cover all I wanted to cover on that. Yes. So how do we get this 40 days very, very easily? First way, come right up in here to. Let's go to the ES for our example here. And right now, I believe I'm set to bars. So just right click somewhere in the chart, as long as you don't click on something specifically. I'm sorry, we're gonna go to data series. Screen is very slow for some lag. All right, we're gonna click on days. So how would I get 40 days? As simple as this. Right here, I'm going to put in 40 days. Okay, now remember those folders I just showed you guys how that works earlier? If I just get 40 days for ES, it is now going to fill that folder that I showed you guys before in that tick data. Now, 40 days, what 40 days? Well, it's gonna be from right now, this point in time, whatever today's date is, it's gonna get right now plus 40 days backwards. Everybody understand that? This is what I mean by getting the most recent. You're gonna get 40 days right now, okay? So this month and the last month. And if you wanna grab more than that, it's totally up to you. I'm just saying at minimum. Remember, I'm talking about effective, efficient, very specific. Which strategies you recommend for beginners? Go through the 30 videos on my website. And the first 6 are the 6 most simple, straightforward, straight to the point, super powerful strategies. You'll learn 6 right off the bat, then some additionals after that. But I would start with the website there and take a peek at those, do a 2-week free trial, and check that out. That is to answer Urik's question on what strategies I recommend for. Pretty much anybody can trade our systems. Our system does all the work for you. So everything is for beginners, honestly. My 9-year-old daughter, she's 10 now. I'm used to saying 9-year-old, but she can beat most traders because our system does all the work. Red light, green light, color coded. So there you go. So there's how you grab 40 days. I'm going to click on OK. Am I connected to? All right. One other thing, you need to make sure that you're actually connected to your live stream. So I'm going to go up here and connect to, I'm gonna have to disconnect to my playback, and I'm gonna connect to my live feed. So you have to think about, why am I connected to my live feed? So if you're trying to figure out, well, how come mine's not working? You cannot be connected to market replay. The way that works is it's playing back the data for you. I've got to go to my live connection feed first, and at the top, see it loading. Delta, at the top left, it's saying loading up there. So this is now going to pull from live data feed the most recent 40 days of data. Of course, we're doing this on a live stream here, so you have to wait with me. So, 40 days most recent, and to download that, you'll literally just click on each of the 89 charts. And 89 range. Control K. 1 second. So, it's going to be the tide chart. Tide chart for ALGOBOX is going to be the 89 range for us. And you're going to select 40 days. Okay. And literally all you have to do is load that chart. Once that chart is loaded, boom, all that whole folder that I showed you guys before, that I think I closed out. There it is. So what will happen is that all of that data will go inside of here. So on my ES, I'm sure it loaded some. So let's go in here to ES, and yeah, here's tonight. So these files right here started getting loaded, and of course then it crashed. But those files there, these are the files that you need. Okay. Then once you connect to Market Replay, the Market Replay connection, then you will select historical, and then historical will now allow you to play back those days of data right there for you. That's the fastest way to get 40 days of data for all instruments without using a third-party service. You guys understand that? Because again, third-party service, you know, if you pay $50 a year for it, you know, then you have to, you know, select them. They got a whole bunch of little check boxes, and you check all the days that you want, all the instruments that you want, and then you select a big button that says download, and it will pull all of those on your computer. And yes, it will fill these folders, except remember, it's not going to fill in your tick here. It's going to be filling in what? This spot right here under replay. So when you are using that window and you do that playback connection, and there are the 2 buttons up top where you can choose Market Replay or Historical, you are then going to choose, if you're using a third-party service, you're choosing Market Replay. But if you do the way that I just showed you a minute ago, where you're getting the most recent 40 days, which is, you know, a lot, it's a lot of practice days, and really for us, all that matters are the strategies. It really does not matter seasonality. You need to know what's happening there, and really, I'll show you guys a trick using ALGOBOX, AudioBox, where you'll be able to just feel if the market is kicking or not. And those are the days that you're either going to have more plays or less plays. And you guys know how we execute. We're doing 5 trades in 60 to 90 minutes, whichever comes first, whether it is your time expired or your 5 or 6 trades. That's it. Right? You got to get in those clicks. So this is important to get your market replay going and executing like that. Now, let's go into more advanced stuff. So once you get that all, I mean, I feel like I spent way too much time having to do that. I apologize. Maybe we'll make a shorter video around this. And of course, my demonstration is cracked. Here's what happens when we do live. But I wanted to also leave open opportunity for open QA here tonight. It's Mentorship Monday. So bear with me on that. We'll do probably another one to kind of walk through that in shorter fashion. Now, what types of days do I want you to divide up? So I would like you, you don't have to do this, but if you want to know an effective way to manage your market replay, this is how I break things down. Okay, we have 3 bins with our types of days. And however you want to organize this, I would recommend creating some folders on your computer, or if you want to take notes, I am going to create a section inside of our Discord for these where we also have this division, and I would like members to contribute to these. Okay, so types of days. In this one, first one, we're going to talk about slow hard days. Candy days. $100K home run days. So how do these break down? So slow hard days, remember with our system, everything is consistent. We are just executing the strategies. We are agnostic to what types of things, like what environment that the market is throwing at us. We don't really care. All we're looking for is our setups. Is it a headshot? Is it a 2-finger salute? Is it a J hook? Is it a PRZ cross? Is it a PRZ headshot? All of those just combined. We in the slow hard days, we're not going to get very many of these, right? So these are trickier, and you're not going to be able to get very many runners here. Those are tough days. So I want you to practice those kind of days and kind of mentally prepare yourself so you know what this type of day feels like. And I really do. I think that as you have one of those days, be like, oh man, this is one of those tough days. So all you got to do is put in the date, right? So it's like, okay, today was 10/2. All right, so October 2nd, which I think was a Saturday, so that's a dumb one. Let's do 09/25 and but okay, so I'm gonna put in there, go, okay, 09/25, that was a tough day. Let's say that today, in fact, today is a great one for a candy day. Am I right? In fact, today is probably one of those possible 100K days. We had some, very, very big numbers coming out of our room there today. So one of the candy days, 10/4, right? Now, I don't mean just put one of these days, but I'm saying like have a lot of these listed out in those folders, or however you want to organize those notes, right? Because I want you to go back and go, yeah, did you have a nice session there, Dave? How much you do today, bro? Yeah, those of you guys who are in our room today, type in the public chat there, how big did you get today? I know we had some big numbers in the room today, huge numbers. I won't go through all those today. We'll save those for tomorrow on Tuesday. But yeah, put in some of the numbers that you guys were hitting today. Like just absolutely huge days today. So candidate today might be putting in, we had a lot last week. Why? Because we're coming into the final quarter. I told you guys we're going to get big volatility pickup. We had contract rollover plus final quarter of the year coming in. Remember, seasonality does matter in that preparation. It's mental preparation. We don't really care. It doesn't change our strategies at all. We're still executing strategies. It's just a matter of how many opportunities we get, how big we can get on those times when the markets are pushing, which is why I'm telling you to practice these like this, right? So now home run days, there may be only a few of these. In fact, I think last year, one of them on my list was like 10/8 of last year. And of course, you may want to put in the year when you start going back even farther for these, big hitter days. And these are days where if you're looking at the daily bars, right, you'll see some big, gigantic, like big green bar day where it's just, huge, barely a wick at the top, barely a wick at the bottom. On a daily bar, it looks like this. Of course, comparative, like some of the other bars might be this. Maybe some dojis, little crosses. Okay, but all of a sudden you got some big gigantic bar like this. That day, that daily bar translates into what is a potential 100K home run day. Now, why do I do that? Because it's on my bucket list to have a six-figure day. I've never had a six-figure day. The most I've ever made in a single day was $58,000. Hit a big home run on some crude oil trades during Brexit. And, you know, have I ever had a 100K day plus? No, I haven't. These are things that I have to be able to practice if I ever want to hit one of those, right? In my mind, the way that we approach the markets like a video game, I've got to practice hitting those, right? I'm not just going to magically hit one of those one day if I haven't practiced those. So I put those into my own little folder. In fact, you guys can see it. I keep one inside of Discord on the bottom left. If you type in hashtag 100K, you'll see in our room, I've got days listed out, and I take a screenshot. So here's one of the things that I also recommend is put that date with a screenshot. And you might want to say, look at this, especially J hooks. Remember this. So on those big days, the big key to those really big days is likely going to be the J hook trap midday, right? You guys know I've told you guys about this. What time does that usually come? Somewhere in that 11 to 12 o'clock hour, right? And we get that J, big crack. We're coming up. We're coming back down. Nope. Oh, we're coming down. Oh. And then this sucker goes and goes and goes. What's our entry point? We want to get in somewhere around here, practice those days, and watch. Those big hold days, these are the potential days for those 100Ks. I'm already mapping it out in my mind how I'm going to hit that 100K day, right? Hopefully I do it live. Awesome, right? But 100K day, how am I going to run it? Just like this. This is my practice play in my mind. Now, again, I'm not saying the J hook is the only play, but hopefully you guys understand the way that I have it mentally. I want to practice doing that, right? So what days do I want to play? Do I want to play that on a day where, you know, the average to range is, you know, 30 ticks, right? Or do I want to trade it on a day where it was, you know, 800, 900, 1,000, 1,200 ticks, right? Obviously. So I want to be able to push in on a day like that. I've got to practice those types of days. So this is how I divide those out. You can put them into folders, however you want to put in your notes, or in the left-hand side of Discord. And I'm going to have some of our members please also share your own and take a screenshot of like maybe a big picture of that day. Take a screenshot of the wave chart, right? Show where, well, the wave chart came right into the golden ropes, and inside the golden ropes there was a 2-finger reversal turning point, and it literally never looked back for the rest of that day. It's a great day to practice. See if you could see that ahead of time and catch that mental vision, because that day is going to recur again. Those types of days will set up and show. You need to practice those. Tommy said, I'm so used to trading the daily chart to determine my bias, so I'm curious about the whole cutting our days into smaller time frame into little atom to find the best entry. Tommy, daily chart. I thought you were in our program. Tommy, correct me if I'm wrong. Am I getting you confused with somebody else? Or how long have you been in our program? I don't know why you'd be using a daily chart. First of all, I always find it fascinating when people come here and they're like, I mean, they suck. No offense, right? But they absolutely suck. They're terrible in trading. They're not making anything, right? So they come here and like, oh, well, you know, the way I like to trade and the way that I've been used to and the way that I've been taught and I want to. Look, what you do is literally worthless. Like, it's literally like walking in this room and going, I've got a big, gigantic bag of trash. Yeah, let me bring it in here and talk about it, right? I mean, I'm no offense, but I'm being straightforward with you. You guys know how I am. I will rip you a new one just straight to, you know, to your face, right? Like, come right in and be like, hey, Vinny, I got this gigantic bag of trash. What are we going to do with it? I'll tell you what to do with it. Put it right in this dumpster bin right over here. Whoop, boop, right over there. Right in the dumpster bin right over there. You don't like daily charts? You don't need to bring daily chart crap in here. Only time you need to know that is, yes, I'm using it reference because everybody knows like what a daily bar is or whatever, but that has nothing to do with how we're ever going to choose or pick our dates. And our system automatically tells us all that internally with favorable direction and MACV filter. Those are the only two things you need, and then execute. Why make it more complex than that? I mean, if you don't want to make money, then please do your way. If you're here to make money, right? That's what we're here to do. We don't care about philosophy and all this stuff. So, it's a terrible habit of mine, bro. Well, yeah, but how long you been in my system? I mean, didn't you shake that by now? If you haven't, that tells me that you didn't really go through the 40-40-40 plan, right? If you go through the 40-40-40, especially when you have 3 calls with me, it's impossible to still be using your old habits. Like, so, and I don't think we've had a chat. So catch up if we haven't done our phone calls, or if I've been busy and you have put in some, you put in your call notice and I just haven't gotten to you. You know, my apologies. We'll get to it, but I do recommend you guys schedule your every 40-day call during that 120 days. They are life changing. Ask anybody in our room like what happened when they got on a phone call with me. Right? I try to make them life changing. Here, the second I'm newbie. Excellent, Kevbot. Just to clarify, once you load 4 days of data on the tide chart, you have that day in market replay. Just select historical. Yes, and I think you meant to type 40 there, but yes, whether it's 4 or 40, yes, once you have them on that chart, yes, that is now historical, and yes, you can play that market replay. Yes, that's exactly what you understood. Yay, I did a good job. Yes, that's exactly right. So, yeah, so divide those up. We'll have some more of that in our room for the premium members. So we'll put a section on the left-hand side, so be looking for that. And we'll have contributions from the team rather than you guys having to do it individually. That way, if you're fresh coming into the crew as well, in fact, if you're watching this video, those will already be created. So look on the left-hand side in our Discord. Under the premium member section, there will be 3 slots in there for the different types of days: hard days, candy days, and 100K days over on the left-hand side. They'll be listed with the date and a screenshot of that day, either on the 89 or the wave chart. Again, higher time frame we want to look at for those so that you know what you're going to be looking at, and then play that day. Go download that day and then practice it. Okay, get in there. Remember, more clicks, more ticks. What does that mean? The more you click, the more practice, the more that we have shown there is a direct correlation in the amount of time you spend in market replay and the size of your P&L. Now, all right, anybody want to come on the microphone and have a chat? John throwing down with the micros, $680. Actually, I think he finished even more at the end of the day. I think he had upwards of 3,000 total in minis. But amazing work all the way even through last week. Huge numbers. We're gonna give it a little 20-second countdown. If nobody else wants to jump on the mic, totally cool. I know nobody's prepared for that, but if anybody wants to jump on the mic, have a chat, we can play. If not, we'll wrap it up right here. We'll try again next week. If you guys want to bring your questions, we're down with it. If not, I'll send you guys off with this nice little jam right here. Going once, going twice, going 3 times. All right, we'll call it a wrap here tonight. It is Monday. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Mentorship Monday. Don't forget, this week it's gonna be big. Lots of VIX, lots of ticks. Looking forward to it. I'll catch you guys on the flip side. For me, Pippi, Robbie, Lunchbot, Mod Squad, Curtis, G, and the rest of the gang. Let's send out navigation. See ya.